we are live, and I've got some of my friends, Jodi from Nashville, John Young from the DC area, and we are talking today about new unique gen lead. How to get those people, how to get them to sign by your agency and listings, and what are some things you do to get them, and some unique what propositions. Awesome.
Yes.
So,
Awesome.
who wants to go first, my people?
John.
John, we'll throw you in. Let's talk about your open houses.
Okay.
So we were just talking before we went live on John's open houses. So and I think I actually sent y'all like what things to talk about, and I've just jumped right in. So sorry.
So first of all, thank you, Jennifer and Jodi, both for doing this. For those of you that are watching that don't know, Jennifer Bullock is amazing, and she does one of these broadcasts every Monday. And if this is your first time, or if you're just in your car and you're listening along, make sure to bookmark this page and reach out to Jennifer, because we need as many people on this stream as possible. I always say now when I talk to other fellow realtors that our industry is under attack right now, from outside sources, and we need to do all that we can to help each other, right? We need to lift each other up and share ideas. And that's something that Jennifer does every week. And she is amazing. She takes a lot of time out of her own personal business to do this. So if you don't know Jennifer, get to know her, come on this stream, and you will pick up ideas, and it will help grow your business, and we'll help each other doing it. So
yes, thank you. And if you want to be on it, let me know.
Right. So anyway, we were talking about, and some of you have already heard this idea before. So I promise you, I have a new idea that I want to share with everybody later. But for those of you who have not implemented this is an amazing idea that I will tell you grew my business tremendously. And I did over $2 million worth of extra business last year from utilizing this. So what it is it is an open house feedback card. See if I can get this up without it cutting out. And by the way, if you are listening in your car and you don't have time to kind of follow along, if you send me an email afterwards, all that I'm talking about, I will send you an email with all of this templated and everything written out, so you don't have to make notes. But
yeah, or if you want it, put your email address in the comments, and then John can grab it and send it to you if you don't have his email.
So what I do is every time I host an open house, and I do open houses all the time. I used to hate doing open houses because, it was like 3 hours out of your day. And, and I kept thinking there's so many other clients I could be working with and trying to grab other business. But I realized how valuable open houses were when I started doing these feedback cards. So what I do is I have a feedback card, which I hopefully can show you there. Okay. And what it says at the top in this grade area is, give me your contact info for contact tracing purposes, which came about during COVID. So I asked them for their name, email, and phone number. And then the source of their visit. Did they see the open house on the internet via a sign, or it says our agent, and you write the agent's name in, and it says with whatever brokerage they're with. And then just 3 things they liked about the property and 3 areas of improvement or things they didn't like. And is the house priced just right, or too low or too high? And if it's not the right price, what should it be? Now, I know you're probably saying to yourself, well, this is great. I already do a feedback card. What's going to make them fill this out? What I do is I say, because sellers, their houses are the best. And they don't. Yes?
You went out.
Can you hear me?
I don't know. I couldn't hear you. No, I couldn't. So start over with that.
Can you hear me okay now?
Yes.
Okay. So you're thinking to yourself, I do a feedback card. You probably do your own. What would be the benefit for them doing it? And the benefit here is that we do a drawing for a $25 Home Depot gift card at the end. And that's hopefully enough to entice them to want to fill it out, right? Now, the beauty of this is as people are filing in, I'm trying to size them up, trying to see who's the buyer, who's a neighbor, and do they have representation, which is obviously really important considering we're going to have buyers representation now, right? So if somebody walks in and they say it's a young couple and they say, we just started looking and we're just looking on our own, we don't have an agent we're working with, then what I do is in the top corner, when they turn the card back in, I put a B for buyer and I put a star next to it because I know they're unrepresented. If they're a buyer that says we've been out with our agent, I'll just put a B there so I know that they're represented. If it's a neighbor, I put an N. And then what I do is I do a random drawing at the end, and I do give a gift card to whoever we draw. But then what I do is resort all of these cards. and I put them into 3 piles: the buyers that have agents, the neighbors, and then most importantly, and this is usually the biggest stack, the buyers who are unrepresented that walked in the door. And then what I do is I usually I call or contact each one of those unrepresented buyers and tell them, you won the $25 gift card. So what did I just do? I just paid $25 for a lead that I sourced myself. And I will tell you that it works really well, because if Zillow called you today and said, we're going to give you a whole bunch of leads for $25, you would take them blindly. But the best part about this is that you're actually talking to all these people. So you're sourcing them yourself. And if there's anyone that looks like they're going to be a pain in the neck, you don't have to work with them, right? You only take the ones that you want to work with.
Well, and I like that idea too, because you're giving them, it's not like you're saying, hey, I'm John, another real estate agent calling you. You're calling with purpose to give them something, right? And then it makes good sense too, that like, hey, what are you looking for in a home? You can start getting their criteria. Great. When can we meet so I can give you this gift card and possibly show a home?
Yep. And what I find is like law of reciprocity works really well, because if you give somebody something and it has value to it, they sometimes don't have anything to give you at that moment, but they remember you and they feel obligated to at least contact you and have a discussion with you about what they're looking for. And that leads into working with them, and it works really well.
I think that that's so smart. And you shared that with me last week and I implemented it. Yeah. So I implemented it with my new agents. Like when they get in here, I'm going to figure out how well it works. So I'm excited. And John, I don't know if you could see this, but you've got a whole lot of emails. So you've got to get this going. I think 5 or 6 people. Yeah. And let's give a quick shout out to some of these people. We've got Stacy Miller, my friend Tracy from the Loop, Hillary. Love Hillary. Hillary's going to be on next week for anybody who wants to chime in. Got Sandy.
Hi, Sandy.
From Charlotte.
Maureen.
We got Maureen.
Hi, Lori.
Lori. Melissa. Look at all these people. You know I love you, Hillary.
Hi, Peggy.
Peggy's birthday's today.
Oh, happy birthday, Peggy.
Happy birthday.
Yes.
Wow, we have a lot of people on here. Oh my God, what a turnout. This is awesome. I'm so glad everybody turned in to see this.
Yes, I'm just showing you all. Anyway, I'm giving a very quick shout out, and then we're going to finish this up. And as far as Dave, I saw one from him that says he's not allowed to do raffles. I don't think that this is a raffle. This is like you put your name in for a drawing, not a raffle. Maybe that makes it better.
Hi, Julie Erickson. Hi.
Yeah. Okay. And Tracy. Yes. Okay. Perfect. Okay. I'm sorry. Now we're ready to get back into it. I just wanted to give everybody a quick shout out. Thank y'all for watching. I really appreciate that.
It's a great crowd. I love it.
Yes, it is a great crowd. So, John, I think I interrupted you. Were you, that's what you do for the open houses, and it's been very successful, obviously.
It's worked really well. And I will tell you that I'll give you an anecdotal story. So I was going out of town and knew that I had a listing that I knew was going to sell in 2 seconds, because we all know we have like low inventory now. And this was like a 10 out of 10 home. So we didn't need to do an open house, right? But my partner, Jeff, was going to be in town. And I said to him, why don't you do an open house? And he's like, oh, we don't need to do an open house because this house is going to sell. We already have a lot of people that are interested that are going to write offers. And I said to him, do the open house. And he reluctantly did. And it changed his mind about doing this. He wants to do it every time because he picked up 2 clients from it, and he sold another house like immediately from somebody. And actually, I picked up one that was, it was an investor, and I don't actually work with investors very often because there's just not a lot out there. But it turned out that they were looking to, they changed their tact, and they were looking for their forever home here. And I sold them a $700,000 home off of one of these as well, just about 3 weeks ago.
Yay. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
So Jodi, what do you do like as a unique lead?
Well, mine, I mean, it's probably one that a lot of people might do, but coming into real estate and not living in the area a long time. So I came to Nashville to work in a hotel. So I really immersed myself in a community. So Springfield is just north of Nashville, and purposely, like, I'm not a desk person, was never at a desk person in hotels. So I'm out, I'm in businesses, I'm meeting business owners, I'm meeting restaurant owners, I'm sitting at the bar, I'm having conversations with people. So I really made it purposely to have these in-depth relationship building moments with people that own businesses in the community, making comments on their Facebook, Google, giving them Google reviews. But by doing this and just not making it like just casual, right? I've closed in less than 2 years, 10 transactions from doing this just in one little small town of Springfield, Tennessee.
So that's awesome. So tell me again what it is you do. You
So
invite them to something.
Well, I just go into their shop and I'm like, oh, do you own this? I've been, Instagram following you forever. Like, this is great. Tell me about you. Oh, this is me. And then you just start having these conversations. And then I also say, well, listen, if you ever want to do like a sip and shop event, I would love to partner with you on that. I'll bring the wine and I'll pour it and just help you out, and we'll like talk to people. So, and then you get clients that'll sign in to enter a drawing to win a $50 gift card. And so got some people in the database that way. So just, going and, the other night I was like, okay, I'll go sit at the wine and whiskey bar, started talking to somebody, and I'm like, hey, I just want to connect with you. Not as like, I'm sure you know a realtor, but here's my card to connect with you. And they're like, actually, we don't have anybody, and we might be selling our condo here next year. So it's just doing that. And because I don't like sitting at my desk. I have to, right? But getting out and then I just recently joined the chamber because up here is only $195 to join it, because I've been going to all the ribbon cuttings, right, that I can. Now I have the database. Now I take all the people that are members of the Robertson County Chamber and load them in the database, and people know me from like, oh, you were at the ribbon cutting last week for TriStar Health, or you were here. Oh, hi, Jodi. Hi, and it's just really, and it's fun, but you're really standing next to somebody at a ribbon cutting, having a conversation about the real estate market in Springfield because they've lived here a while, or maybe they haven't, or maybe they want to move up here because their business is now here. So it's really helped me out. And I've got, I'm getting ready to do another listing from that. And I've got probably 6 more people that I'm actively showing property to, based on just having fun and walking around and meeting people in the community.
No, I love it, because I do think, we are, we need to meet people. We need to be touching people. We need to be talking to people as much as possible. One thing I used to do, and I'm actually going to start doing it again. I haven't done it in years, but I used to go to my local coffee shop that was within a mile of my home. And I'd go every Thursday for 2 hours from like 8 to 10. And whoever walked in the door, I bought their coffee. Let's be real. I might've spent $100. $5 for coffee, whatever, But once you start doing it and you start doing it consistently, I'd wear all my Remax stuff. I'd bring my computer, which has a big Remax sticker on it. And I would just sit there really and work. But as people came in, they'd be like, oh, she paid for it. And they'd come over and be like, oh, thank you so much. And now you have all the Remax stuff. So it just is an easy conversation, open that conversation up. But I did a lot of business from it. Ironically, I got too busy and quit doing it. So
I love that idea. I'm going to take that and I'm going to do that.
Yeah. And the key is just the consistency, because the first time you do it, you may or may not get many, but then you start getting it to where people are coming in to see you. And they know that you're going to be there from this time to this time, and they don't really care about the $5 coffee you're going to buy them. But now they're coming in to be like, hey, Jennifer, guess what? I was talking to my neighbor, and I was talking to somebody at church, and now they're coming in with referrals to give you.
I have an idea that actually plays off of these 2 ideas. And I'm just implementing it now. So as we all know, if you've got kids, it's the end of the school year, right? And so I wanted to do something to thank all of the teachers that work with my daughter. Now, for those of you that know a little bit about me, I have a 15-year-old daughter, Chloe, who is on the severe end of the autism spectrum. She's nonverbal. And so she's at a special school. So I really have a lot of love for the teachers and the staff at the school, because they're working with her and a lot of other special needs students. So kind of part and parcel to all of this, the school was trying to do some fundraisers around town, and we participated as parents, and we went to the Chipotle, on a night or a pizza night. And I was looking around at the fundraiser that they were doing, and I was like, oh my God, they're like hardly generating any money. 10 or 12 parents would show up, and then they only give 20% of the check total to them. So I came up with this idea, and this works even if you don't have kids, right? If you don't have kids in a school, you can find a friend of yours that has kids in a school, or you can do it with your local school right down the street from where you live. What I did is I went in and spoke to the principal, and I said, I'd like to do a fundraiser or do some kind of partnership fundraiser for the school. And I found a local mom and pop ice cream store that would do it right down the street from the school. And, ice cream, I think, is about $5 a scoop, and they give like $1 to the school. But what I said to the principal is, if we can do this on a Saturday and we'll carve out like 2 hours worth of time, right? I would like to invite all of the parents, all the kids, and all the staff. And the ice cream store is going to give you $1 for every $5 purchased. But I, as a realtor for my business, I'm going to give you the full $5 for every ice cream scoop that's served, right? So it benefits so many people because it benefits the school, right? And I know what you're thinking. This is what my wife said. My wife said, "What are we getting into the ice cream business?" Right? I mean, she said, "You're going to be serving ice cream, and you're going to go broke." But honestly, if you think about it, how many scoops of ice cream are they going to serve in an hour or 2 hour period? Right? 100 scoops, maybe 200. So what's it going to cost you? $500, $700? Think of all of the goodwill that you are going to create with the school.
And it's going to a good cause. Yeah.
It's going to a good cause. And the other best part about it is in my own situation, I'm connecting now with all of the parents that have kids just like mine. So what I'm saying to them is, we're doing a good thing for the school today, but I'd like to do something great for you in the future, which is I know what you're dealing with a special needs child, and I know what your needs are. So let me help serve you whenever the time's right, when you're moving up and into your next home with your child. So
I love it. I think anything that you do that you've got something in common with people, used to do supper club. I mean, back when I was married, so it's been a while. But when I went to supper club, I'd always bring my MLS reports for anything that had closed, under contract, or listed, because that's what every single person would ask me the entire time. I was like, "Hey, do you know about that listing?" And I literally just printed out the piece of paper and brought it in. But I ended up doing like 10 closings, and these were like $700,000 homes. I closed 10 in 1 year just because I always took the time to bring it in there and available. I didn't push real estate on them, but everybody wants to talk real estate. Everybody wants to know what's happening in their neighborhood. It's common conversation. So when they brought it up and I was very well prepared, which took me 5 minutes to prepare, it went a long way. Another thing I was thinking, which I've never done, have you ever read the seven, I'm looking at the book now to see what the name of it is, the seven levels of communication?
Yeah.
It's a good book there. It's a very easy read that I read years ago. But the main point of the book is that you should go to like a local restaurant that's open breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And one day a week, or maybe one day a month, one day a week, I think, you go in there and you sit all day and you get approval from the restaurant owner, and you make sure that you tip the staff very well because you'll be there all day, but you schedule your appointments so everybody comes to you, right? So your past clients, your friends, "Hey, do you want to meet me for a cup of coffee? Do you want to meet me for breakfast? Do you want to meet me for lunch? Do you want to meet me for dinner? Do you want to meet me for drinks?" So ideally within your day, you could have 10 to 12 people come to you. And then what they were talking about, and when you do it consistently, now you're getting the benefits from the owner of the restaurant and all the staff, because now they see you, they know what you do. Now you're getting all those referrals as well.
That's a great idea.
That was a good idea. You just kind of sit in one place and just do your work in between people and just schedule it out.
I love it. It's like that reciprocity thing we talked about earlier. Like, even if it's just a Google review, so many times we're like, "Hey, clients, can you review me? Can you review me?" But you start pushing those out to, the drugstore, the local coffee, like whatever. And then you attach a picture that maybe you've taken there, and it just, then they're like, "Oh, wow, that was really great." Right. And so that's something that I've made the focus to start doing more of in the last a couple months. And I think a lot of people have been like, "Oh, hey, thanks for the review." Because of course they respond to it on their Google profile, but reviews have become such a big thing.
Yeah, really. And I think that's a great idea too, because I think so easily we ask for reviews and we don't give reviews. So I like your idea of, "Hey, I'm not asking you for anything. I'm going to do this for you. I'm going to give you the review, and I'm going to, host your sip and shop." And I think it's nice because it's always interesting at these conferences when agents come up to me and they're like, "Can you do this, this, and this for me?" Because I'm like, who are you? But when you take time to actually get to know people and say, "Hey, this is what I could do for you," then I'm like, "Oh, and I'll do this for you." Right? It makes sense. I like that.
And don't forget reciprocity with your realtor colleagues and friends and things. I would say, I think I've talked about this before as well. Like we're all facing multiple offer situations now, right? And what I always do is if I have a listing where I get something crazy like 10 or 15 offers, you think of all of the 14 agents that spent all that time putting an offer together, right? And all the time they ran around, and then they finally settled on your place. And then they spent time probably away from their family, typing up an offer and negotiating or whatever, only to not get the place. What I do is I send a handwritten letter to all of the agents that lost out on my listing saying, thank you so much for submitting your offer. I'm sorry it didn't work out. It's a tough market for all of us. Let's try to help each other. And what I do is I enclose a $5 Starbucks gift card just as a thank you to them.
Yeah.
And you would be surprised at how much that makes a difference, because it doesn't always work out this way. But I had one where I sent a gift card to an agent, and then the very next week, my clients were bidding on a property of theirs. And
where she was a listing agent.
Yeah. And we had not submitted an offer that was the winning offer. But what they did was the agent called me back and said, your offer is not the highest offer, but I talked to my clients about it, and they want to see if your clients want to amend their offer, and we got it through. And my clients said to me, how did we get that offer through? And I said, I'm not going to tell you it was a $5 Starbucks gift card, but it was a $5 Starbucks gift card.
Well, you know what it was? It was the gift card, but it was more than that. It was the fact that you took time to acknowledge them, to thank them, because in this business, so many agents are rivals with each other, but at the end of the day, we're really in the same business and we should be working towards the same goals. And you're 100% right. When you get that reputation of appreciating other agents and working well with the other agents, all of a sudden your offers do get accepted.
Yep.
I think that's wonderful.
That is wonderful. It's like I was having a conversation with my coach a couple months ago, and he's like, collaboration happens at the top and competition happens at the bottom. And I'm like,
I like that.
I was like, that has like stuck with me, and I played it over and over and over. And it's just about being a great partner in these transactions. And I love that. I'm writing that one down too, John.
Yeah, I might write down your quote and put it on my wall. I like that. You have to text me what you actually said so I can remember it later.
Yes. Another something I do with like drop-offs for clients, right? So I got this idea from my friend Tom, who used to be a realtor in Boston. Every Christmas or every holiday season, right after Thanksgiving, drop off a fresh wreath to everyone in the area I've closed a transaction with. And it's an $11 wreath from Trader Joe's. Give them little instructions. Here's how you keep it alive. But the thing is how that generates leads or conversations is it sits on their front door for a month, and they have a holiday party, or they have a brunch, or they have people over for a dinner or whatever. And people are like, oh, that's a really nice wreath. Oh, that's, and I've had a few people like, hey, I saw, Janet's wreath and she told me to contact you, and I would love to sit and meet with you and talk to you about my house. Right. Yeah. So it just is one of those things where it sits up as that constant reminder for a few weeks, and people now look forward. I've only done it 2 years in a row, but now they look forward to them. So.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I think that's an awesome idea. You're right, because they're having people over, and you're also on their forefront of mind for the next month. Right. I think that's awesome. And something else that I used to do, there's a very small, like a wine shop right next to me. That's an old home that it's just a small little cute little house that they made into a wine shop. But on Wednesdays, and I'm not sure why Wednesdays, I would invite 5 to 6 people over there to meet me for wine. And that place, you could either buy it by the bottle or you could buy it by the glass. So I bought everybody a card, $20 card, so they could buy it by the glass, whatever they wanted. And I'd get like, crackers and cheese. But what I did is because I think we, as real estate agents, we are matchmakers, right? In every aspect of the word. Like, I match people to a home. I match people to a doctor. I match people to an attorney, to a dog walker, whatever it is. A lot of people that move here are moving in from out of state, so they don't have people. So I organized my list of people that I would invite by either their location. Maybe it was the zip code they bought in. Maybe it's their age. Maybe it's a hobby that I heard them talk about that they like. Maybe it's the age of their kids. Maybe it's the fact that they're divorced. Whatever it is, I would organize 5 or 6 people. But what I found is 3 different sets of people that I organized this thing for all had a Friendsgiving, Thanksgiving together. And to be clear, I wasn't invited, but pictures were taken and it was sent to me. And it was like, thank you so much. These have become my best friends. That's awesome. So, I think that goes a long way too, right? Is just taking that time after you close just to say, hey, I was thinking of you and I've organized this group of people in your zip code that I think you might like. Why don't we come and if you just sit there for an hour, 5 to 6, 6 to 7, it's not a long drawn out thing, but it is a good, and it's easy, right? I do client events that are not easy, where I have hundreds of people show up and I can spend like 30 seconds with each person. So it's nice when you could sit down and actually talk to 5 or 6 of your past clients one-on-one for an hour.
Yep.
That's a great idea.
And sometimes I'm just traveling through a zip code, and it's funny. I was out with my wife and we were driving through a neighborhood, and I said to my wife, "Oh, I sold that house over there." And and then a few blocks over, I said, "Well, I sold that one too." And it made me think, like in real estate, a lot of times what we do is we're very programmed to do things where we're going to send an email out and blast everybody, right? All at once. But what I try to do is I try to do things completely random, where like I'll send out an email and say, "Hey, I was driving through your old neighborhood today, and I know we haven't talked in a while, but I saw your house and how nice it looks, and I just wanted to check in with you and see how things are going and how's your family." And when you're not like obviously engaging with them, trying to solicit business, it's so much better, and it seems completely organic, and people do want to engage with you then.
Yeah, that's right.
And they refer neighbors and other people. They say, "Hey, the house on down the street, our neighbor's getting ready to sell. You might want to talk to her. We can make the introduction."
Yeah.
So
I think that that's a good point too, because I do think it's important to ask for business, but I also think it's important not to ask for business every time you call, because you don't want people to be like, "Oh my God, there's Jennifer Bullock calling me again." You want them to be like, "Oh, Jennifer's calling. Wonder what's up." Maybe, it's you want it to be fun, not
right.
you don't want them to dread you. So I think that's really important, just to say, "Hey, I've been thinking about you. I went through your neighborhood and I've been thinking about you."
Yep.
That's nice.
Yeah.
It's a great idea.
Yeah, I'm taking notes. These are great ideas. And if you, audience, so we do have a lot of watchers, listeners, if you have ideas of things that you've done, I know Tracy in the Lou has tons of fabulous ideas. Share them if you want to share them. If you are at the top and not worried about competition, share them. What was your quote, Jodi?
No, yeah, collaboration happens at the top.
See, yes, if you want to collaborate because you're up here, please enter it in. But one thing Tracy does, they're like big candy bars at Halloween, and she delivers them at everybody's house. And then there's a note, and I'm sure I'm messing up what she says, but it's something to the effect of, "When I was growing up, the cool houses gave out big candy bars. Now you're a cool house." And it's like a box of big candy bars. It's just something fun to stop by and drop off.
That's really great. So, being like newer, just a few years compared to all of you legends. So something I did, my first R4 had Fiverr do a logo and had it put on the back of a denim jacket. So it was a specific logo we had created, put on the back of a denim jacket, and it says "Selling Nashville," right? Not a show. I wasn't on a TV show. I wasn't on American Dream. I wasn't on any of that. But I just said, here it is, a little Remax balloon. And I had people yelling Nashville in the halls. Now, of course, the R4 last year was like a bazillion people, but the same this year. And I wear it out on Broadway. Like if I have people coming into town and I'm like, "Oh, let's meet for a drink or whatever," I'll wear it and people come up to me, because it's one thing for me, like wear Remax or something like that. But when I had it on the back of my jacket, and people were stopping me or screaming Nashville, and I closed a deal from like somebody screaming, "I need an agent in Nashville," in the halls of R4.
You're like, "Wait, come here, me."
Back. Yeah. So, just that was a little thing. And it's like, you're like a walking billboard on the back. And there's no denying like where I sell. It's not just Remax. It's just Nashville.
No, I think that's an awesome idea. I definitely think you have to show it, right? I wear the t-shirt. It says like Jennifer Bullock team, and it's got a Remax logo. And literally the UPS guy was dropping something off at my house. Now, funny enough, I did sell him a house, but when I used to teach high school, he was one of my students, and he was like, "Wait, it's been like 20 years. Are you the same Jennifer?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I taught you." But it was wearing the shirt. Same thing you said. It's just that recognition.
It sparks that conversation, right?
I think the same thing. I don't wear name tags, but I think the same thing. I kind of feel weird wearing a name tag, but when I used to wear a name tag, it does, like, people like to talk real estate, right? It kind of gives a leeway into that.
They do. Yep. And you know
Yes.
what? I would say I need to learn more from you, Jennifer, because you do like with these streams, you're so good on social media and also connecting people. I see like, hi, Judy. I see Judy Chin on here. I see Sandy McAlpine, Mandy Mowry, Peggy Young. All these like awesome agents have turned in to see this today. And, it's because you put together like a really good program. Maybe I'm not including myself in this group, but
Well,
I'm saying,
absolutely, you should be.
but I'm saying you put together like these really great programs that people want to watch, and I think that I need to do a better job of that, especially now, because I think it's important that we broadcast a message out to our clients too, and let them know what's going on with all this NAR stuff, and how to position ourselves and why things are the way they are, and why it's important to have buyer agency representation when you buy a home, because I think we were getting, for a couple of weeks there, steamrolled by like the media, and
Agreed.
when I had some listing appointments right after that happened, I mean, a lot of questions came up. Should I not offer a commission, or what's going to happen come July? And it took some doing to try, and some explanation. And I think I'm going to try to get into a better habit of doing like what you do, Jennifer, because I feel like it's important.
Well, and I do it for, I do it for a lot of reasons. One reason is every conference I go to, if I can't implement one thing that I learned from that conference, then I'm going to too many conferences, right? So when I met you, John, years ago at Celebration, this is one thing that I learned, and I've implemented it. I've been doing it for 3 years now, but I truly do see myself as a matchmaker. So the one thing that I originally, when I started doing this, I started doing it really to help my clients, because where we are located, I know that California is 6 to 9 months ahead of us in the trends. I know Colorado is about 6 months ahead of us. I know Texas is about 3 months ahead of us. So if I could see what other agents are doing and the trends that they see in their marketplace, then I could best help my clients here, knowing that, hey, just based off of the trends, I know this is going to be hitting here in about 3 months or 6 months or 9 months, depending. However, that's not where it spun off to. Where it spun off to is agents all over. I mean, I probably get 10 agents a week saying, Jennifer, I know you're well connected. What agent do you know in Nashville? And I don't make anything. I'm not paid to do this, but I'll go and say, hey, Jodi, love her. John, Washington, love them. And they know that. They know that I've taken time to get to know you guys and vetted you.
No, that's great. It's great. And I've connected from watching your shows so many weeks. Before going to R4, I was able to connect with people before that, say, comment. And of course, then I had that creepy moment at the Irish pub when I went up to you at your table and said, oh my God, I'm totally fangirling you. I love your show every week. So thanks for all the great info.
The funny thing about that is I couldn't quite hear you. And I was like, what? And my daughter was like, Mom, she's your fan. I'm like, my fan? What do you mean? She's like, Mom, she said she was a fangirl. I was like, what does that mean? Like an OnlyFan? I just got introduced to OnlyFans recently.
Oh, Lord.
So I was like, she's like, no, Mom, like she's a fan of yours. I'm like, of me? So anyway, my daughter thought it was super cool at that point. One moment in my life. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. No, it was great. And it's a lot of great information. I have great notes and, from your show. So thank you for all that you've done, because certainly I've learned a lot and connected with a lot.
It's time consuming, and it's funny to see how many spinoffs that people try to do, but they end up not doing it every single week for years because it's hard. It's not easy. And I always need people to join. So again, if you want to be on it, put in the message and be like, Jennifer, I want to be on it. And I'll send you a calendar with links so you can schedule whatever time works best for you, whatever day, because I'm always looking for new people. And I do scroll through the people again too.
So many good people on here too. I see. Hi, Fiona. Fiona's on here. Arlene Yobs was. Belisa Locke. I noticed so many names here, people that I've met. It's also, I do want to also mention this. Make sure you go to conferences, just like Jennifer said, because I have met so many of these folks at Remax conferences, at Celebration, and I feel like I would not have done as much business as I had without knowing them.
Yeah, I agree, especially people that you can collaborate with. And there is a thing, like last year I went to too many conferences and I had to scale back. Like last year I went to 8. That is too many conferences because I do sell houses. I am a real estate agent. I'm an actively practicing real estate agent. My team sells about 300 homes a year. We're ranked 12th in North Carolina. Only saying all of it. It's echoing. Can you hear that echo?
Yeah.
A little bit.
What the hell is
Is it your
causing
phone?
that? I don't know. I don't know what's causing the echo. That was weird. I'm sorry about that. But anyway, I have a hard time thinking because all I can do is hear myself echoing. Sorry about that. But I think you can't go to too many conferences because at the end of the day, your job is to sell houses. But it is important to go to the conferences to learn how to stay on the cutting edge, right? How to and learn little ideas. And if you can walk away with 1 or 2 nuggets, my goal is to walk away with 1 nugget that I believe will give me 5 extra sales that year.
Yeah. And Celebration is going to be in Nashville next year.
I
So
can't wait for that one.
remember,
Yeah.
so I know, yeah. Oh, hi, Amy Lucas. Oh my God. Wow. Some of the people here. Hi, Amy.
Famous Amy.
She should.
Have you looked at Amy's followers on Instagram? She has like 27,000 or 57,000 or 157. I don't know. She's popular.
I talked to her earlier. There should be a show just on what she did last weekend, and I'm not going to say it, but people that follow her know what she did. She organized last weekend. So
maybe Amy needs to be on the show soon and tell us all what she did last weekend.
I mean, I don't want to steal her thunder, but she had a community garage sale that she organized, and it was a huge success. So go to her site, go to her Instagram, and check it out. It's fantastic.
I love the shout out. Somebody said a yard sale. Was that what she did?
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. And Rich tells me that I'm echoing. Sorry, Rich. I love Rich. So then to wrap it up, and I'll tell you, Derek from New York is down here. And I had a referral for you, Derek, but then when I called them back to give them your information, they already had an agent. I'm sorry. I tried. Yeah, so then to wrap it up, what's one thing to wrap it up? Do you have one other piece of advice? One other proposition?
The other piece of advice I would say is, because I always look at all these people that are on your streams, and I always think that I'm a creative person and I'm coming up with all new ideas and things like that. But then sometimes I'll go to a conference and I'll hear what Amy's doing or Fiona or other people that are on this stream, and it's like, wow, I can't believe that I didn't think of that, or I'm not doing this, and it makes me a better agent too because I get to incorporate all those ideas. And I'll make an analogy. I don't know if anyone here that's either on the stream or anyone here plays music. I play music, so I play guitar, and I'm not like a great guitar player or anything. But when I play guitar, and when you play in a band with somebody, and they actually make you a better player because you're in a circle of people, and when they start performing well, it makes you perform better. And that's the analogy I'll make in real estate. When I go to these conferences, I always share my ideas, but then I get all of this great input from a lot of other people too, and it takes my ideas to another level too. So I really appreciate all of you that have given me ideas, and let's just keep sharing.
You know what, John? I think that is 100% agreed. And even like your open house idea, it isn't like something catastrophically revolutionary, but it's tweaking what you're already doing to make it better. And that's awesome. I think that's really awesome.
Yeah, it's a great point. I mean, I believe I'm successful in this business because of all the people that I've met and connected with and collaborated with and got ideas with. And it's all about sharing and being kind and considerate because it's rough. I mean, I worked for a corporation for 30 years, and now you're on individual solo agent or team or however you are functioning on your own. And you need these, and I have so many people that connect and lift each other up, or it could be just a simple text or a video message or whatever that is to really just support each other. And I told someone the other day, I said, it's so interesting to connect with these people that do the same job I do all over the place. And we can kind of just support each other and lift each other.
Cry and laugh and be mad and be happy. All
because it's tough. It is a very brutal business, but it's about having these like connections and these sincere relationships that support and provide you that avenue of just either venting or celebrating or whatever that is that keeps us in the business and keeps us being successful. You know, it's all of that makes me, I feel, successful at this business. Otherwise, I would not be. And, you know, not getting caught up in the noise and having agents that have been like, look, you're going to be fine. It's okay. Lean into it. Great. Yep. I haven't been through all that some agents have been through with 2008 or the late 90s. But, you know, when I hear that and you just keep your head down, stay focused, be a kind, considerate person, and it'll all work out.
No, I agree with you. And with that collaboration, I saw Stephanie Rizzo was on here, and she called me. She gave me a referral a couple of years ago, maybe 2 years ago. And she was like, hey, while I have you on the phone, can I pick your brain? And I think we sat there and talked for several hours. And she wanted to know about a contact management system. And it's funny because I thought about it a couple of months later, and I reached back out to her and I was like, which company did you go with? I mean, it's nice to have that collaboration and have people to ask and you know, get advice from. I do it every day.
I think we all probably know this, that, you know, if times get tough and you don't have a sounding board, that we can all find several people on this stream today that you can reach out to. Anyone wants to ever reach out to me, you get stuck with, you know, some type of lead generation thing that's not working for you, or some idea that you want more input on, I'm always happy to talk to you and try to see if we can make a better idea.
Same.
Yeah, me too. And it's nice, like you said, just to bounce those ideas and to have somebody, because I'm always like devil's advocate. I will tell you 100 things wrong with your idea just to make you spin it so you can kind of think of all the realms of it. And then I'm quickly also steal ideas, so be clear.
Love it.
I implemented John's this past weekend, so thank you. Awesome. Well, thank y'all so much for joining. I really appreciate having y'all. And Jodi, you were nervous. Was it easier than you thought?
It was. It was just the first couple minutes, and then it was just being. But you know, it's all the people that signed that joined in and recognizing people, and then seeing y'all. It was like we were all just sitting in a room at an event talking to each other. So this was really.
So would you do it again?
I would do it again, absolutely. And thank you again for inviting me and for letting me be part of such a great group of people.
But wine next time, because you brought up wine. So we have to have wine next time when we do it.
Yes, that's what we should do. All of us have different types of wine, and then we can taste it and have a consult.
I love it. Done.
I love it. Well, awesome. Well, thank y'all again. And again, anybody that wants to be on it, you could just put it in the comments. Let me know more than just your email, because if your email, I'm assuming you want John's open house information. But if you put in there and say, Jennifer, I want in your email address, I would love it. I'd really appreciate it. But till then, I'll see everybody next Monday at 5 p.m. Eastern time.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, thank y'all. I appreciate y'all so much.